This is the White Sands National Park in New Mexico travel guide. White Sands National Park, formerly a national monument, is located in the White Sands of the Tularosa Basin of New Mexico. White Sands National Park is the newest national park as of February 19, 2019. Here you'll see endless dunes of gypsum sand, which take up 275 square miles of the desert. It's the world's largest gypsum dune field. Shaped by flowing winds over the years, this ever-changing landscape of white sand dunes is something from a movie. Oh yeah, it's been featured in multiple movies, in fact. This White Sands National Park travel guide provides helpful information for visitors to this national park. Like this video and write a comment. We really want to hear from you so that we can keep improving our content. Welcome to Hipfig. If you're a travel enthusiast, then join our community by subscribing to this channel. This is the Beautiful America Travel Guide series. This episode is the White Sands National Park in New Mexico helpful travel guide for visitors. We drove from the town of Alamogordo, New Mexico. It's a thriving military town full of hotels, fast food, and gas stations. This is the closest town to the White Sands National Park, and it's a good place to stay overnight, eat, and get gas. Make sure to refill on water before going to the White Sands National Park. Alamogordo, New Mexico is about 16 miles from the White Sands National Park Visitor Center. The White Sands National Park Visitor Center is located at 19955 US Highway 70, Alamogordo, New Mexico. For your information, due to occasional missile testing on the adjacent White Sands Missile Range, the road will be closed into the park for periods of up to 3 hours. US Highway 70 between Alamogordo and La Cruces is also closed during times of missile testing. Check the White Sands National Park website the day before arrival to confirm hours of operation. We drove on Highway US 70 and followed the brown signs to this White Sands National Park. It's near an Air Force base. We followed the signs and made a right in the historical district of White Sands and went past the visitor center to the gates of the White Sands National Park. The entrance and the exit to the White Sands National Park from April to September is from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily and is closed later on full moon nights. Operating hours are reduced other times of the year. Please check on their website for exact times. White Sands National Park and Visitor Center is closed on all public U.S. holidays. The entrance fee for this White Sands National Park is $25 per car, or $20 per motorcycle, and $15 per walking or bike, which is valid for re-entry for 7 consecutive days. We drove on a gorgeous sunny summer day. It was truly glorious. We took the Dunes Drive, which is an 8-mile scenic drive that leads from the visitor center into the heart of the gypsum dune field. If you stay in the car, then this 16-mile round-trip drive takes about 45 minutes, but it will take you way longer as you will stop and explore and take pictures of this white wonderland. Our first stop was the Playa Trail. Park along the designated parking spots along the road. This trail is an easy, flat dirt trail, which is about 0.5 miles round trip. There are informative signs along the trail, which we read to learn and explore. We follow the green trail markers with a heart symbol that leads to the small playa. On our self-guided walk, we walk to the playa. A playa is a shallow depression or low-lying area that fills temporarily with rainwater from storms. Most of the year, it's a dry lake bed. If you hike to the end of this trail, you'll view an Ice Age scene filled with ancient giants that once roamed this area. Please stay on the trails. Footprints destroy the biological soil crust that's vital to White Sands. You should be able to complete this trail in 30 minutes or less with plenty of time for a leisurely walk and pictures. Our next stop was the Dune Life Nature Trail. This is probably one of my favorite trails. There weren't many people since we arrived just as the park opened, and the solitude was really nice. Once we parked, we saw the beginning of the trailhead. By the way, near the entrance of the trailhead in the parking lot is a clean restroom. We followed the blue trail markers with a club symbol. Please be sure to bring water and wear a hat, sunscreen, and sunglasses. Remember, there is no shade, no water, and no toilet facilities along this trail, so be prepared. Remember that safety in this national park is your responsibility. The Dune Life Nature Trail is a moderate 1-mile self-guided loop hike. It isn't difficult, but getting over the dune to the top of the trail took some doing in the sand. Some parts of the sand were hard, and other places the sand was so loose that it would sink under the weight of my feet. This is definitely not wheelchair accessible. Once at the top of the dune, there are 14 signs pointing out the animals that live in this area. If you look carefully and arrive in the morning like we did, you can see animal footprints and the occasional desert resident. In this desert scrub community, you'll find the most diverse ecosystem in this national park. Although they are rarely seen during the day, animals do leave signs of their presence in different forms, such as tracks in the sand. Look for the tracks of kit foxes, badgers, birds, coyotes, rodents, and reptiles. This trail is for observing plant and animal life. If you want to play in the sand, please drive further down Dune Drive into the heart of the dunes, where there are better dunes for sledding and picnic tables with shade. We took about 1 hour in this trail, just mesmerized by its blank beauty. The trail is not always clear, so make sure you look for the blue trail markers with the club symbol. It was about 8 a.m. when we finished our hike here, and it was already getting hot. After our small hike, we went back into the car and drove to our next stop. As we drove further into the park, the shrubs and vegetation began to lessen, and more high dunes of white glistening sand caught our eye. Brown signs for trails are clearly posted in English along the road. Our next stop was the Interdune Boardwalk. The Interdune Boardwalk is an elevated boardwalk fully accessible to wheelchairs and strollers. There's a large parking lot in front of the boardwalk. The Interdune Boardwalk is a 0.2-mile boardwalk which leads you to the Interdune area to a scenic view of the Dune Field and the Sacramento Mountains. There are 10 outdoor informative signs along the boardwalk. There is also a shaded structure with seating halfway along the boardwalk. This area is reserved for nature studies, so please stay on the boardwalk in this area. FYI, White Sands National Park is surrounded by an active missile range. Debris from the missile test may fall into the park and is buried by sand, so if you see any strange objects, don't touch them as they may detonate. Make a note of their location and tell a ranger so that the appropriate personnel can remove the object. Once we returned to our car, we then drove to the end of the park road. As we drove further and further into the park, it looked like miles and miles of snow, but it was white gypsum sand. It was really surreal. There are lots of places to park along the road and explore the white dunes. There are also lots of people going sledding here. If you're an avid hiker, you may also be interested in the Backcountry Camping Trail, which is a moderate 2-mile round-trip hike through the heart of the dunes. Follow the orange trail markers with a spade symbol into the area of beautifully varied dunes and vegetation. The trail requires hikers to climb over several steep dunes and loose sand, and there is no shade, no water, and no toilet facilities along this trail. It takes an average about an hour and a half. Please be aware that if you're taking this hike in the summer, do it early in the morning to avoid the heat. At the end of the park road, you'll find the Loop Road Recreation Area. In this area, there are shaded picnic areas, restrooms, and large dunes for some sledding fun. Waxed plastic snow saucers work best and can be purchased at the park's gift shop. You can also bring your own sleds, of course, but please be careful. While the dune sand is soft, the area at the base of the dune can be very hard, and do not stand up on your sled to avoid head injuries. After some sledding, we went to our next stop on our way out of the park, which was the Alki Flat Trail. The Alki Flat Trail skirts the edge of what is now the final remnants of Lake Otero. The name really is a misnomer. This trail is not flat. You'll be hiking up and down dunes the entire way. The Alki Flat Trail is a challenging and strenuous 5-mile round-trip hike. Please make sure you follow the red trail markers with the diamond symbol on it. Please keep in mind that there's no shade, no water, and no toilet facilities along this trail. It will take an average of 3 hours to complete. You can also just play in the area. It's full of gently sloping dunes, so it's a popular spot when we visited. After exiting the gates of this national park, we stopped at the White Sands Visitor Center. The White Sands Visitor Center was built in 1936 and is located just before the entrance exit gates to this national park and is part of the historic district at White Sands. The White Sands Visitor Center is open May to September from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily and closes at 5 p.m. all other times of the year. The Visitor Center has 2 entrances and 2 parking lots, south and north. Inside the historic building is a gift shop and museum, as well as a small theater. This is where you can also buy sleds. There are also park rangers available to answer questions. Make sure to ask the rangers about the available ranger programs and guided hikes, like the daily sunset strolls, the Lake Lucero and full moon guided hikes. If you're here during the right time of the year, be sure to watch the Perseid meteor shower. White Sands National Park can take as little as 1 hour, but if you really want to enjoy this park, plan to stay at least half a day and avoid the hottest parts of the day in the summer. It's really worth the visit and highly recommended. Happy travels! Go to hipfig.com for more information, or go to our Hipfig travel channel on YouTube and be sure to subscribe for regular updates.